Welcome back to the Midnight Who Show, and today we're going to be reviewing the 31st Simpsons Treehouse of Horror special. And we start off this one with a parody of Toy Story in the form of Toy Gory. And in this special, Bart is no Andy to his toys, he's more like a Sid. And the opening montage of just Bart totally saying goodbye to his toys in a totally destructive way, so Bart. And that parody of, I've got a friend in you, it's just hilarious when you hear the lyrics like, "You're such a rotten kid," as Bart is like sawing off, like blending the toy soldiers. It's like, oh, this is going to be a great one. Because, Bart is obviously not very kind to his toys. They kind of revolt. Especially after he microwaved his new radioactive man. And what they do to him, that's pretty horrific. They turned him into a toy. Boy, this takes the whole idea of Toy Story and definitely spins it all around. This, just like Sid, you learn a very important lesson. Don't mess with living toys. They will get revenge on you. But I think this is a great start to this episode. I really enjoyed it. The CGI animation that they did was really good. Very decent start to this Treehouse of Horror special, but also had a very horrific ending. But Into the Homerverse is the next story, which parodies, Spider-Man to the Spider-Verse. And overall, this is not one of my favorite segments in this episode. It's very average, but there's some really good moments in it. I really like seeing the different designs of Homer throughout the different dimensions, especially the Hanna-Barbera parody one, which is really cool. But then you get to see Burns as, different versions of Burns. And one of them, Maleficent and Bowser, and they battle it together. Great. Those are the moments I really enjoyed with it. But besides that, I didn't like this one. I will say it was kind of clever seeing all the Homers doing, Homer activities and just kind of terrorizing the town because now there's, multiple Homers. So the, buffets are empty, and it was a really hilarious scene when Marge just opened up the beer, the Duff beer, and all the Homers come. Yeah. And the Hanna-Barbera one, though, is definitely probably one of my favorites just because you get to see, Snagglepuss parody, Yogi Bear, and then you get a little glimpse of Quick Draw McGraw, which is awesome. It's like the Spider-Verse movie with the Spider-Man noir, the Homer noir, is one of my favorite additions to this episode. But yeah, this was a very average Treehouse of Horror segment. It was still pretty decent. The animation and the designs of all the Homers was pretty cool. I definitely won't remember this one too much. The last segment in this Treehouse of Horror was B9 Rewind, and involves Lisa and Nelson basically living Groundhog's Day. I really actually like this one. I actually wish this one was much longer. I think it's a really cool premise, this whole, you live in the time loop, the day starts again, all that. I really like that concept. I really like this sketch. Lisa's ninth birthday just goes off the rails. First she dies by a car, and then treehouse falls on her and Elson have to figure out how to stop it. And definitely like the comic book guy, how they're like, we've been here this many times, we've given you this. It was great. But boy, Gil in this episode. Yeah, Gil's not very much a good driver much in this one. Yeah. And that's how they had to stop the time loop, was stop Gil. But yeah, this was a pretty decent segment. And also this Treehouse of Horror started with, a political segment, with Homer not really voting, some consequences with that, but I'm not going to get into much politics here. But it was a decent start to this episode. I like when they do this Homer and political openings that they do every election. It's quite hilarious. But yeah, overall, I really enjoyed this Treehouse of Horror. It's, for a modern episode, this one's probably one of my favorite ones in recent years. There's still the problems that a lot of these modern era Treehouse of Horrors have, but this one is definitely one I'm going to look forward to watching again. And for the 31st one, it was pretty good. Especially Toy Gory. I really liked that one. Toys just getting absolute revenge on Bart for him being just totally mean to them. It was great. And there's some really cool references in this special too to some past episodes of Treehouse of Horror, which is pretty cool. So tell me your guys' thoughts on this Treehouse of Horror in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye everyone.